run off, and he had to go back to get the lug that he missed. And that was a 20-second pit stop. That's 5 or 6 seconds slower than normal, and boy, that's a lot of track position when you're cranking 200 miles per hour here at Pocono.
Johnson running 7th right now, and he will move up a couple of positions when some of the other drivers that have not made pit stops come to pit road. We told you Hamlin has not made his stop. McMurray is not in this cycle, nor has Paul Menard.
I'm not sure what happened to Paul Menard because he was running up there for most of the race.
He had to pit,
oh, that's right. That's right.
He had to drive through. Yeah, he had to drive through.
And he's hoping for a caution now.
Okay,
but he's not getting it just yet. And now Paul will make his stop. Ralph?
Adam, he said he didn't want to get too far behind these guys. They said they're trying to do a fuel mileage thing. That's what Slugger Labby said. Paul went along with it. He wants to leave the handling alone. They're going to put 4 fresh tires on it, so they're playing the fuel game here as well, Marty.
Let's go down the checklist for Denny Hamlin. He's fast, he's not shifting, and he's got the fuel mileage as well, as Kyle and Wally were just mentioning. It's been a pretty perfect day for Denny Hamlin thus far in the FedEx team. All they're going to do is make a very small wedge adjustment for Denny Hamlin right here. He said he got a little too tight late in the run. That's really the only thing that he's messing him up, but otherwise the car very good, especially early in the run. That's where Denny makes a lot of his time. Oh, and a lug nut hangs on the left front, taking a very long time here on the 11 pit stop. This might cost him some time out on the racetrack, fellas.
Yeah, no kidding, Marty. That's, like I said, 4 or 5 seconds is about the same amount of time that the 48 team lost. So he still had a pretty good cushion, but it's going to tighten things up.
So Denny Hamlin has the issue with a pit stop. 18.9 seconds, as Wally pointed out. His issue began before he ever got to pit road. Look at this.
Yeah, that was pretty clean, though. I mean, it could have been a lot worse than it really was.
And he was lucky. He had 2 guys that had already pitted that were on fresh tires that were really sticking, and they knew where he was at.
And Gordon's going to be in the lead, or he will be in the lead once Montoya circles through. There's your leader there, yeah, Montoya.
So you compare the pit stops. How big are they? Montoya 13.4, Denny Hamlin 17.6. You see to the right, the entire time spent on pit road, the difference of more than 4 seconds. And that's why Juan Pablo Montoya is out front, getting on top of Denny Hamlin here at Pocono. Time to take an inside look at what's happening now. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, brought to you by Sprint and Evo 4G, America's first 4G phone. Kevin Harvick gaining some 24 positions today. He has, in fact, been on the move. And the man who's been out front most of the day would be one Denny Hamlin. Yes, he has been impressive today. Hamlin turning the fastest lap of the race at just under 54 seconds. For more NASCAR stats and live in-car audio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile and the Evo only from Sprint at sprint.com/speed. Matt Yoakum.
Adam, a problem has developed on the 2 of Brad Keselowski. About 5 laps ago, he came on and he said, I have a vibration like I've never felt before. I can't diagnose it yet. And then a lap ago, he said, I believe I may have a loose rear wheel. We'll take a look at the wheels and see if there's any oblong holes. But that's what he is thinking on the 2.
Now, we hit on this at the beginning of the race. This is one of those places you just can't afford to make mistakes like this because you're going so fast here. If you have to come back down pit lane, unless a caution comes out, you're done.
Yeah, unless a caution comes out, and that's what we've not seen. We saw those early debris cautions, but, you know, we've gone a long time here. So we've had a couple of green flag cycles, and when you have those green flag cycles and you make a mistake, it just compounds your problem. And this is the worst place to have a loose wheel. I'm telling you, I've seen some really hard hits up here through the year, breaking studs, breaking wheels, stuff like that. So you've got to come in and get it fixed.
Or anything, even a flat, because it takes you so long to get back to pit lane.
Montoya, the race leader, he took over on a cycle of green flag pit stops about 10 laps ago. Denny Hamlin, who has dominated this race today, leading 72 laps, is about 6 seconds behind. And here is Clint Boyer. He's had a decent afternoon. Clint running in the 16th position. We go inside tracks with crew chief Shane Wilson. Plenty of work on pit road this afternoon. With that, we deliver our AT&T fastest pit crew update. Take a look at the teams that have spent the least amount of time on pit road this afternoon. This is an important area. No big surprises there. Montoya leading out front. And Kurt Busch having a good day, third right now. Don't forget to vote by texting the car number for the pit crew you think will average the least amount of time on pit road in today's race. You can do so by texting the car number to 234-567.
You look at those numbers, you kind of, first thing I think about is, well, I wonder if they got all the fuel in the car.
Yeah, exactly. and that's going to be an issue. And two things. Sun's out right now. Where'd the sun come from? I can't believe the sun's out. That's going to change the racetrack and some of the adjustments that these guys have been chasing.
Right.
If the racetrack frees up, because we've heard guys talk about freeing their cars up from being tight. If it gets real hot and slick, these guys are going to roll those back in. But you know, the funny thing, we're talking about Montoya here. We saw the difference between the 11's pit stop and the 42, and it was 4 seconds. Right now, he's 5.3 ahead. 4 of those seconds was lost on pit road, not on the racetrack. Right. And it's like you were talking about. You've got to hit all your marks. You've got to get all your stuff. But at the same time, we're sitting up here in the booth. We don't know whether he got it full or not. He may just have one can in it and then have to pit early and give it all back. And we've seen it with some of the other teams.
What's the latest on Brad Keselowski, Matt?
The day has taken a turn for the worse, Adam. Paul Wolfe, crew chief, looked at the wheels that came off the Blue Deuce. They looked fine. Then he just asked his driver, Brad Keselowski, do you still have the vibration? He said affirmative. Still have a vibration.
Okay. Now, if you have a wheel vibrating, that's one thing. These guys are shifting. Do we have a drivetrain vibration? Has he jammed this thing in gear, twisted the drive shaft? Is he off one spline? Has something happened inside the transmission? Now he's got a drivetrain vibration.
Man, that thing, I watched that left rear wheel bounce real bad.
It almost looked like it came up off the ground. Yeah. And that may be part of his problem. Maybe he's broken a shock, maybe something like that. It's hard to diagnose it with these cars because they run the rear sway bars, they run the front sway bars. You don't have a lot of feel with it.
So Brad Keselowski 1 lap down in 29th. He's got issues today, but not as big as the man who had the point lead entering today's race, Larry.
Yeah, Adam, I went down to the garage area, and there is about 12 mechanics around that 99 car of Carl Edwards. I remember our points leader. I talked to Jack Roush. Here's what Jack told me. Now, this is actually an intake valve, but it broke the head off of an exhaust valve. And how they found that, they pulled a spark plug out, and they take a borescope. It's almost like an x-ray machine. They were able to look down in there, and they could see the head of the valve laying on top of the piston. Now, what Jack told me, what they could see, it's not done a lot of damage. So what they're doing right now, they've pulled the intake manifold off, and they're trying to fish this head out of there. Jack said, Larry, if we're not successful, I'm going to pull the cylinder head off. He said, we still got a lot of time and a lot of race to go. Remember, only 1 point per position. Comes in here as our points leader by 40 points. A lot of work going on Carl Edwards' car.
It's always nice to have toys, and Larry McReynolds has got them all down at the Toyota Torque Car. Juan Montoya feeling good about himself. He leads this race 4.3 seconds in front of Denny Hamlin. Welcome back to Pocono Raceway. This triangular track has been here since the 1960s. 1974, the first visit for NASCAR. August of that year, the King, Richard Petty, went to Victory Lane. Plenty of racing history when you come here. You got the Hall of Famers, and then you got the other guy, Kyle Petty.
And you got the not the Hall of Famers. That's okay, dude. I used to drive that car.
Oh, wasn't it fun to watch? Denny Hamlin helping give you an inside view of what's happening here today. And fans, if you want more TNT coverage, the Coca-Cola in-car camera on Race Buddy lets you ride shotgun with the Coca-Cola Racing family of drivers. Check it out now. It's on NASCAR.com's Race Buddy.
Taking a liar out of me.
He just started.
He just started shifting again. Now, that could be because the sun came out, the track's getting slipperier, and when the track gets slipperier, that down